Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We always aim to pull out those key insights from the materials you share with us. Today, we're looking into a really disturbing case from 2013. It's one of those stories that just shows how desire, chance, maybe even fate can all collide in the most unexpected and frankly horrifying ways. It begins late on the Thursday night. Think about it there. It's cold, sharp. It's 2013, 11:30 p.m. You're out in the first settlement area. It's pretty desolate, mountainous terrain outside the city. Lots of new construction, just skeletal frames against the dark sky. And it is quiet, like really quiet.
Almost unnervingly quiet out there.
Exactly. And then you hear this low hum breaking the silence. It's a security patrol car. Headlights cutting through the black. They're just doing their routine sweep, looking for people stealing stuff from the construction sites. Pretty standard.
Yeah, that was apparently a common issue there, theft of material. So a patrol wasn't unusual.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But tonight they find something completely different, something way worse.
Right. They spot this car.
Yeah, just off the road, stalled, the hood's up. This young guy, Mahmoud, standing outside. And inside, in the passenger seat, there's another young man, Amin. And he's just sitting there, really still, like unnervingly still.
What stillness? That's immediately strange, isn't it? If your car breaks down, you're usually both outside or, doing something.
Totally. So the patrol pulls up. They ask the usual questions. Hey, car trouble. But the answers they get are, well, they're fumbled, nervous. You can just feel the tension hanging heavy around these two. And Amin, he just stays put, refuses to even get out of the car.
And that right there, that refusal, that's a huge red flag for the officers. Why wouldn't you get out? It just doesn't make sense for a simple breakdown. Their instincts must have been firing.
Oh, absolutely. And those instincts were spot on. As the officers get closer, their flashlights sweep across Amin inside the car, and they see it on his T-shirt. A dark stain.
Yeah.
It's unsettling.
Even in the dim light, they realize what it is.
Blood. No mistaking it. So now, they demand Amin get out. He finally does. They do a quick look inside the car, the main part, don't see anything obvious. But something draws them to the trunk.
Their suspicion is high now. The blood stain, the nervousness, Amin's reluctance. It all points to something hidden.
And it was hidden. They open the trunk, and the whole scene just shatters.
Yeah, this is where the true horror comes out. They find two large sacks, and they're heavy.
And stained.
Blood-soaked. They open one, and it's not just stains. It's dismembered human remains.
God.
Just unimaginable.
In that moment, both Amin and Mahmoud they collapse.
Yeah.
Right there. They start confessing immediately. The patrol realizes they've just stumbled onto a murder scene purely by chance.
It's staggering. A random car breakdown at that exact spot. A routine patrol passing at that exact moment.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How sometimes the most elaborate plans can be undone by just sheer coincidence, pure random chance.
Absolutely. So the question becomes, how did they end up there? What led them to that desolate spot with such a horrifying secret?
Let's trace it back. Let's look at Amin first. He's 23, a physical therapist originally from Garbia. Had what you'd think was a decent career path, right?
You would think so, a respectable profession.
But apparently he wasn't satisfied. He wanted more. More money, more influence. He wasn't interested in the legitimate past.
Yeah.
And the details we have suggest he had this weird charm, a manipulative ability to convince people that whatever he was doing, even if it was wrong, was somehow justified.
That's a dangerous trait. Not just ambition, but the power to warp other people's judgment to fit his own skewed morality. Using his profession almost as a weapon for gain rather than healing.
Right. So, 2012, he moves to Cairo, looking for bigger opportunities, supposedly in physical therapy, gets a job at a center in Hanaan, and that's where he meets Hanaan.
Okay, so Hanaan, she's 43, living in Mbaba, and her connection to Amin starts because her daughter needs physical therapy.
Exactly. Her daughter has some health condition affecting her movement. And Hanaan, interestingly, she had a good reputation in her community. People thought well of her.
Which makes what happens next even more jarring.
It really does. Because this wasn't just about therapy. Amin sees Hanaan, sees her gold jewelry, sees her daughter's situation, and he sees an opportunity. He starts inventing new treatments just to get more money out of her.
Exploiting her vulnerability and her daughter's condition, that's quite predatory.
But Hanaan wasn't just a victim here, it seems. She saw Amin 20 years younger than her, and she apparently became interested. Infatuated, maybe. She started using the therapy sessions as an excuse. Long absences from home,
Oh, so it was mutual exploitation, in a way, both using the situation for their own selfish reasons. He wanted money, she wanted him.
Seems like it. Driven by self-interest. And within a month, it wasn't professional anymore. It became an illicit affair.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Yeah. And then 4 months later, Amin moves his practice to Faisal, closer to his place, and closer to Hanaan's place in Mbaba too. Convenient.
Very convenient, making the affair easier to continue.
For 7 months, it goes on like this. Meeting in his apartment in Faisal, he's consistently taking money from her. They're living this life of deceit, betrayal, and apparently they didn't seem bothered by it at all.
Just completely wrapped up in their own arrangement, regardless of the consequences or the morality of it. A real lack of conscience shown there.
But then something happens. Early 2013, Amin's father dies. He goes back home to Garbia for about 3 months. And during that time, it seems like he has a moment of clarity, or maybe guilt.
Okay, what happened?
He tries to cut things off with Hanaan, ignores her calls, talks about wanting to live a more righteous life. It looks like maybe, just maybe, he's having second thoughts.
As a brief pause. But was it genuine remorse, do you think, or just triggered by the grief and being away from the situation?
Well, it didn't last long. That's the thing.
So the righteous life didn't stick?
Not at all. Within a month of that reflection period, he's back. Back in Cairo, back in Faisal, and back with Hannah.
Wow, just snapped right back into the old pattern.
Yep. He even doubles down, partners with a friend to open a new physical therapy center in Shubra. More potential income. The wrong life, as he supposedly called it, was back in full swing.
So much for that glimmer of conscience. The pull of easy money, or maybe just the habit of the relationship, was too strong.
He seems that way.
Yeah.
So they fall back into the affair. 2 more months pass, and then Hanaan drops a bombshell.
Okay, what now?
She tells me she's going to divorce her husband, and she wants to marry him.
Marry Amin after everything.
Yes. And apparently she said she didn't care about her daughter in this whole equation, just wanted him.
That's chilling. Completely abandoning her family, her sick child for this affair. That's beyond self-interest. That's a destructive obsession.
Amin was apparently shocked, horrified even. Marriage was never on his radar. For him, it was always about the money, the convenience. That was it.
So her ultimatum completely misread the entire basis of their relationship, from his perspective at least.
Completely. So the very next day, he calls her, tells her he's tired of this wrong life, using that phrase again, and tells her to stay away. He's done.
But Hanaan doesn't hear it that way.
No, she misinterprets it, maybe denial. She thinks he just needs space. Like, okay, I'll give him a couple of days to cool off.
She's still clinging to the idea that this is real, that he feels the same way. That denial is powerful.
Tragically powerful. Because the very next day, she gets news. Someone tells her Amin is getting engaged to someone else.
Oh, wow. So the wrong life excuse wasn't about morality at all.
Nope. It was just him clearing the decks for his actual fiancé. The truth hits Hanaan like a ton of bricks. She realizes she's been played, completely used.
And the betrayal flips the switch.
Big time. She's enraged. And she swears, according to the details we have, that he'll be hers or he won't belong to anyone.
That vow, hers or no one else's. That's incredibly ominous. That's not love, that's possession.
Definitely. So she starts calling him again and again for days.
Yeah.
He refuses to answer. She knows his routine, though. Knows when he'll be at his Faisal apartment.
So she decides to confront him directly.
She goes straight there. He opens the door, and she just unleashes, starts screaming, clearly intending to cause a scene, expose him right there in the building.
He must have panicked. His whole plan, his engagement, potentially falling apart.
Total panic. He yanks her inside the apartment to shut her up. And in that split second, that desperate moment to avoid exposure, he makes a decision.
A fatal one.
He realizes he has to silence her permanently. He strangles her right there. She collapses. Lifeless.
Just like that. From confrontation to murder in moments, driven by the fear of his secrets coming out.
The suddenness is terrifying. And then, the aftermath. He just sits there, next to her body, for an hour, just paralyzed by what he'd done.
The shock must have been immense. But then, the need to cover it up kicks in.
Exactly. The panic might subside slightly, replaced by this cold, desperate need to hide it. A plan starts forming. He leaves the apartment, goes out and buys 2 large sacks.
Already thinking about disposal, the mind shifts quickly from shock to self-preservation, however twisted.
He comes back, tries to put her body in the sacks, but realizes it's difficult. She won't fit easily. So his plan changes. He decides to dismember the body and then burn it. Destroy any possible identification.
God, the sheer brutality of that decision and the calculation involved.
He actually starts a fire.
Yeah.
tries to burn the remains inside the apartment, but the smoke, it immediately becomes a problem. He realizes the neighbors will notice. He has to put the fire out.
Another plan foiled by practical reality. The desperation must have been escalating.
So burning is out. He goes back to the dismemberment, forces the parts into the 2 sacks, a gruesome, horrific task.
Unimaginable.
And when it's finally done, he knows he can't dispose of it alone. He needs help. He needs a car. So he calls his cousin Mahmoud.
The same Mahmoud who was outside the stalled car later that night.
The very same.
Yeah.
Amin calls him, says he has a problem, says he needs Mahmoud to come over right away, bring his car, doesn't explain what the problem is over the phone.
So Mahmoud arrives, completely unprepared for what he's about to walk into.
Completely. He gets there, Amin shows him everything. Mahmoud is utterly shocked, horrified, and at first he refuses. He says no, he won't help with this.
As anyone would, hopefully. But then Amin's special ability comes into play.
Remember that strange manipulative charm? That ability to convince people his way was right. He turns it on Mahmoud. We don't know exactly what he said, but somehow he twists the situation, persuades his cousin, plays on loyalty or fear or something.
And Mahmoud caves, agrees to help dispose of his cousin's victim. That's a chilling example of Amin's influence, overriding someone's basic moral compass in a moment of extreme crisis.
It really is. So together, they carry the sacks down to Mahmoud's car, load them into the trunk. Their plan now is to drive out to that deserted area, Tagamoa El Awal, the place with all the unfinished construction. Dump the remains there. They figure the dismemberment will make identification impossible.
Banking on the isolation of the location and the state of the remains to cover their tracks. A desperate gamble.
A gamble that failed spectacularly. Because that's when fate, or maybe just bad luck for them, steps in again. On the way there, or maybe right when they arrive at that desolate spot.
A car breaks down.
Mahmoud's car just stalls. Dies right there, in the middle of nowhere. The perfect place to dump a body, maybe, but the worst place to have car trouble when you have something horrific in your trunk.
And then the final piece of disastrous coincidence for them.
The headlights. That routine security patrol, just doing its rounds, happens to come along right then. And they see the stalled car. They see Mahmoud outside, Amin inside. And the whole carefully constructed, albeit horrific cover-up just unravels.
Undone by a stalled engine and a random patrol. It's almost unbelievable, the sheer unlikeliness of it all converging at that exact moment.
So the police investigate, obviously. Amin confesses to everything, tells them who Hanaan was, the whole sordid story of their affair, the murder, the dismemberment.
And the forensic evidence backs it all up. The state of the body, the failed attempt to burn it. It all fits his confession. A complete picture emerged very quickly.
Yeah, there wasn't much doubt left. Amin was sentenced to death for the murder. As for Mahmoud, his cousin, the specific outcome for him isn't detailed in the information we reviewed.
It's such a bleak story. You look at Amin, this physical therapist with potential, choosing manipulation and violence. You look at Hanaan, caught in obsession, disregarding her own family. Neither seem to have much regard for morality or integrity.
Both driven entirely by their immediate desires, their self-interest. It really cost them everything.
Yeah.
And others too, tragically.
It really makes you think about how seemingly small choices, those little compromises with yourself, those self-serving decisions, how they can pile up, how they can lead you down a path you can't turn back from.
Until you reach a point of no return. And then sometimes it's just the most random thing, sheer chance, that brings everything crashing down. A broken down car on a deserted road.
Exactly. Which leaves you wondering, doesn't it, about accountability. If the cover-up hadn't been undone by pure chance, would the truth ever have surfaced? What does that say about our reliance on fate sometimes to deliver justice when human actions fail to prevent tragedy? It's a sobering thought to end on.